Hey there, Ruthie here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited because I'm finally bringing you the video all around my amazing Cricut machine. You have seen me use this machine at almost every single one of my videos, and today I'm just going to talk to you all about what it is, what are the things you need for it, and what you can do with it. This is especially for any of you that are starting out and are considering one of these. There are dedicated YouTube channels that all they do is talk about a Cricut machine, all the different things you can do. That is not what this video is about. This video is about from a non-crafter who got herself an awesome machine and now is sharing with all of you just some things that I've learned as I started out. First off, let's talk about the machine. If you don't know, a Cricut machine is basically a very fancy cutting machine. That's mostly what it does. Now mine can actually do more than just cutting. It can cut, it can engrave, and it can also have these special pens and you can use it to write something. So it's very, very versatile. These machines go from anywhere, I think some of them are as low as like $150 to anywhere to over $400. So they do get quite pricey. And then there are things you need for it. So there's different tools that you may need. You will need the material you'll be cutting, and then sometimes you may need different attachments for it depending on your project. But today I'm going to share all the basics. I'm going to give you some fun and easy projects to do and just the material that I think you need to get started. If you're still around here, go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and check out some of my fun videos of some of the recent things that I've made with my Cricut. So when I got started, I actually got a starter pack. I'll link everything down below of some tools, and I really recommend getting one of these, which is like a weeding tool. This one has been really great. And then I also got one of these, which is a scraper. Now this does come in two sides, and maybe you would need both sides, but I feel like this size is just sufficient. There have been times that I've used the tweezers and they're great. The scissors are pretty sharp, like you have other scissors. I don't think you need these. And then this tool, I don't really know what it's for. I've primarily used it to clean my mats. So if you really need tools, I would just say get these two. The rest are just a nice added bonus. And they all have these little hooks, so maybe one day I'll hang them all up. So this is my Cricut machine, and it just kind of opens up. Ooh, so fancy. Also, I didn't know this, but this thing lifts up. It took me a bit to figure this out, and you can keep other tools in there. So typically I'll keep this one in here, and then there are different types of blades. Now your machine will come with a basic cutting blade, and so most items that you would need to do, you really just need that basic cutting blade. I have two other blades here, and I actually am ordering one more. One of these blades I got because I was cutting felt material, so I needed a different type of blade, and then I also needed a scoring blade. Basically it kind of makes like a nice fold so you can fold cards and things like that. What I would recommend is just start with projects, and the amazing thing is with the Cricut you have to do the software called the Cricut design system, but it will tell you all the tools that you need, and so then just order as you need. Don't order ahead. And then over here is where I would put some of the pens, and then this is where the blade. Everything is super simple. I mean, the design system tells you everything step by step. So next, you do need the material you plan on cutting. Now, the Cricut company, I guess, has all of their special materials, from anything from cardstock all the way to metal and leather. I mean, it has it all. And for vinyl, which is one of the primary reasons I use it, I do use the Cricut Vinyl. I know there's other companies out there. I don't make tons and tons of stuff. This is more for my personal use, so I just use the Cricut products. And the nice thing is, if you get the Smart Vinyl, you just load it into the machine. You don't need a mat or anything. So I have various colors of vinyl that I really enjoy. And anytime you need vinyl, you're gonna also need some transfer paper, and that basically allows you to transfer your vinyl to it and then allow you to stick your design exactly how you want it to whatever you're sticking it on. Regarding other materials, I have a ton of cardstock that I love to use, and I just get any kind of cardstock because in InDesign you can pick other materials, and you can even check the weight or specific information about that material and basically have it. And the nice thing is, once you have a material that you really like, go ahead and start it, and then that way you can keep it saved. If you're going to be using any other material besides that kind of smart iron-on that you can just load straight into the machine, you're going to need some mats. And I got a pack of different ones. They have basically different mats depending on how grippy they are. So for most materials, I think I use just a standard grip one. This is also great if you have any kind of scraps of your vinyl. You can go ahead and stick them on a mat and then reuse them. You don't have to throw them away. For the cardstock one, I do use the lightest one. And the other hack I've heard that once your mat gets pretty unsticky, you can go ahead and just downgrade it, make it a lighter design. And they always recommend to keep the little plasticky thing on. It kind of keeps it clean. And then if there's anything on it, I just kind of scrape it off. There are videos out there on how to clean and re-sticky your mat. So I think these mats will last you some time. And then I did get this pack of markers on Amazon. This is definitely like not something you need. I've used these a handful of times, but I do use these anytime I'm making cards for someone. If you think you're going to be making a lot of those, this might be a nice purchase. Let's chat about why I got this and what are my favorite go-to easy projects to start out. I got my Cricut primarily to make beautiful labels and just customize things. And that is exactly the first things I did. I made these silly folders and put this scan on there, shred, and to do. So let me show you how I make these labels. First, I do a simple design on my Cricut design space and tune in later because I'll show you exactly how I do it. And then I just let the Cricut cut it, and I love using the smart vinyl because I don't need a mat or anything. Now that our Cricut has cut our labels, we'll go ahead and weed it and then we'll transfer it. I know these are all terms that maybe you're not super familiar with, but I promise it sounds way more complicated than it really is. I'll go ahead and cut just the individual labels. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. All right, so for this, I'm gonna go ahead and use my weeding tool. Kind of start at the edge and you kind of poke it, and then there we go. And then I fold it over and I'll peel the outside. Now for this label, I'm actually taking out the letters, and so they will be see-through, and then the label will be around it. So make sure you're extra careful with what you are weeding. Next, I'll go ahead and use some transfer paper. This is how you can get your pattern onto your item exactly how you want it, and make sure you scrape it nice and well. If you're seeing some of the stuff not come off, I'll just reuse my scraper and it usually works. And there you have it. Now I'll just repeat this over and over again until I have all my labels ready. When it came to Halloween, my daughter wanted all of us to be the Incredibles, and I was able to get us all shirts off of Amazon, but I had a hard time buying the right kind of mask. I didn't want like a plasticky one, and so I decided to challenge myself and make my own mask. Using felt and some string, I was able to make each one of us our custom mask that was exactly to the size of our face, using my Cricut. That was the coolest thing, and it was just that extra touch that really brought our costume together. If you are a mom who likes to do all kinds of activities with your kids, or you find yourself trying to cut a heart and it just never looks good, well, the Cricut might just be for you. It has really upped my game when it comes to cutting activities for my kids. So if you've seen my Thanksgiving video, I used it there where I made all kinds of activities to prepare for Thanksgiving. I also used it in my Valentine's Day decor and made a bunch of DIY Valentine's Day stuff. I also started making my own DIY cards. Now again, this isn't going to be any cheaper than probably buying cards at the store just because of all the material and the cost of the Cricut itself, but it is that personal touch that you made it yourself, and they turn out so cute. So today we're actually going to go ahead and make one for a friend of mine. This is the Cricut Design Space, and basically you use this software to make any of your projects. The cool thing is you can go ahead and search, and they have hundreds and thousands of already made projects that you can make yourself. So I went ahead and typed baby card here, and as you can see, the options are endless and you can keep scrolling and more items will pop up. I'm gonna go with this baby dino card, and right here it will tell you all the materials you need as well as any other items. So you can see the mats you would need, the blades you would need. It is calling for a pen and just like adhesive and things like that. But that's why I love the design space, because it tells you exactly what you need. Now, straight from there, you can click make it and go ahead and make it right away. But I always like to click customize it just to see if there's any tweaks I would like to make. And since we are going to be using cardstock, you will be using your mats. So here you can see all of them broken out, and you can actually change the shape of this. So even though this says a 12 by 12 mat, I don't actually have cardstock in that size. I have it in a standard printer paper size. So you can really measure and make sure it's the right size. Speaking of cardstock, this is the one I picked off of Target, and I love it because it tells you exactly the weight on it. And now that I've selected the right colors that I want, we are ready to start cutting. In the design space, you can pick from hundreds of materials, and this is the light cardstock, and then it will tell you what tools to load into your machine, and then you'll just go ahead. I mean, this machine literally tells you step by step what to do. You can see here, it will tell me when I need to switch blades. To remove it from the grip mat, I have found the easiest way is to turn it upside down and actually remove the mat. That way it also keeps your items pretty flat and doesn't create like a bend in them. And then I'll just keep repeating this with all the different colors. As you can see for this one, I did use a pen, which is so cool. First you see it drawing, then you see it cutting. I mean, this just does not get any cooler in my mind. Now that I have all my pieces cut, it is time to assemble them. And I'm using these little foam circles to go ahead and add some little height and depth to my card. I think I need a little bit smaller because these were definitely getting bigger. And then some of the other pieces, I'm just using some glue. And this is the finished product, and they can actually lift this flap when they get the card. Probably the next project that I will be making is iron-on to clothing, meaning you can take a design and custom make any of your shirts. I feel like I love getting my kids all kinds of special outfits for holidays, but sometimes I'm not able to find exactly what I want. And so I think using my Cricut and some iron-on, I can make sure I can custom make them anything for holidays. So I'm really excited to try that next. Well, there you have it. That is my Cricut video. I hope this video just gave you an idea of what a Cricut is, what are some of the materials you should get to go along with it, and what are some cool, easy projects to get started. And of course, if you get yourself a Cricut or you're making any of these, go ahead and tag me on Instagram. I would love to see all the creative things that you guys create. I mean, there's a reason there are hundreds of Facebook groups, courses online, Etsy shops, YouTube channels, and TikTok stars all around using your Cricut and all the cool things you can make with it, because the possibilities are endless. Anyway, you know the drill. Give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you at my next one. Bye. But